Passengers is directed by Morden Tildrum and stars Chris Pratt as Jim, an engineer who gives up his life on Earth and is one of 5,000 other colonists who are going to travel to a planet called Homestead, Earth, to repopulate that. But to get there, it takes 120 years, and when they all go to sleep in hibernation pods and the ship that they're travelling on hits an asteroid field, one of the hibernation pods goes wrong and wakes Jim up early. So, Passengers, this is a film that I didn't have a lot of anticipation for. I had a fair bit. I was excited to see it, but it was getting panned by some critics, so I wasn't too sure. And why I say I disagree with the critics completely on this one, guys. I loved this movie. I thought it was brilliant. If you haven't seen it, check it out before it gets rid of theatres. It's been out for a while now, so I'm not going to hold back on spoilers. And I really, really, really like this movie. I thought it was visually great, the acting was great, and I thought plot-wise it was great as well. So let's get into the review. Okay, so Chris Pratt's character Jim wakes up 90 years early. So before the ship, the Avalon, which they're traveling on, is destined to reach Homestead 2. And aboard the ship, he finds that there is nobody else awake. His hibernation pod has gone AWire, and he has to make a decision whether essentially to kill himself or stay on the ship alive by himself. So in the end, after about a year of him being alone, he slips and finds himself in front of another hibernation pod containing Jennifer Lawrence's character, Aurora, which he falls in love with through watching her videos, her pre-recorded messages, and her writing, because she's an aspiring author. So he then spends a while trying to decide whether to wake her up or not. And in the end, he does wake her up with the advice of Michael Sheen's character, the bartender, which I really, really liked. I thought he had great charisma in the role. I thought that he delivered a solid performance, along with all of the other casts. This film really benefits from the small cast. I think there's only maybe 5 real parts in this film, and I thought that it really benefited from the small cast because it gave the audience a chance to really connect with only 2 or 3 or 4 characters instead of 10 or 20. I found that really effective in the film, and I thought that was a really big advantage that the film had going for it. So in the end, he wakes Aurora up, which is Jennifer Lawrence's character, and he lies to her, saying it was an accident with the hibernation pods, and they'd fall in love. And I thought their chemistry on screen was really good. I thought that Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence both gave great performances in this film, and I didn't really have a problem with the way that they performed on screen together. I know that some other people will. I think some other people will, unfortunately, not like the plot and not like where it goes, because it does get into sex scenes and it does get into things like that, but I don't think that was a really big problem. It didn't falter from my experience, it only improved it, because I thought that seeing the chemistry between them only helped improve the story, and it also made what happens later a lot more heartfelt and dramatic than what it would have if they didn't fall in love. So basically, Michael Sheen's character, the android bartender, he accidentally gives it away to Aurora that Jim woke her up, and Aurora basically takes that really, really hard after falling in love with Jim's character, and she ends up basically abusing him, hitting him, hurting him, bashing him, and she finds that really hard to grip with. And that's where the movie, it does take a little bit of a hiatus from the good feel good movie which you're embarking on. I think it's really good to have. It's essentially Titanic in space, and I think it worked really well for this film. Obviously Titanic's a really highly regarded film, and I think that this is to the level of Titanic. I know probably 1 in 1,000 people will agree with me, but this is just my personal opinion. I thought that the dramatic aspects of the film and the love story in space, with a sci-fi element to it, worked really, really well for the film. But then the ship starts faltering some more, and eventually Gus, one of the captains or crew members on the ship, wakes up from his hibernation pod failing, and Jennifer Lawrence's character and Chris Pratt's character, Jim and Aurora, have to work together with Gus to try and get the ship working, or else they're all essentially going to die. And in the end, Gus doesn't last long. He ends up getting killed from about 612 different problems with his body. And in the end, Aurora and Jim have to work together to save their lives and save the ship. And inadvertently, in doing that, they both fall in love again. And Aurora understands why Jim woke her up. And in the end, it's a really nice story about how they reconnect as human beings and fall back in love. And especially at the end where Jim puts his life on the line for Aurora's sake and he's prepared to sacrifice his life for Aurora, I thought that was really nice. And the way that the film handled it, with the acting and the music, the score, I thought the score was great. I thought that was all handled very, very well. And overall, I just thought Passengers was a really, really good sci-fi movie. Oh, I love the effects in this movie as well. I thought that the Avalon was great in the design and in color scheme. I thought that it was designed really well. It was a really unique, slick ship. I thought all the visuals in space were handled very, very well. I'm glad to see they made full use of their $110 million budget. It looks good. The movie looks really, really good. And it's done pretty well at the box office. So if we can get it up to 300 million, and it needs about 10 more, and get to 300 million, I reckon it's a big success for Universal Studios, or I think it was Universal who brought this out. But either way, whoever brought it out, it's a big success. It might have been Columbia actually. Who brought this out? I thought that was a big success for them. So yeah, I'm just really happy with how this film turned out. And also the ending is very, very well handled in my opinion. It has a great moral about life and living in the moment and not worrying where you could be. Just worry where you are and make the most of where you are, not where you could be or where you want to be or where you'd rather be. It's about making the most of the moment, and I thought that was a really good moral at the end of the film. Once again, I thought the acting was great in the film. I liked the effects. I liked all the characters. Not one character in this film I didn't enjoy. I felt personally connected to the characters. I know that people are saying that Jennifer Lawrence's character Aurora didn't really need to be in the film. It could have just been Chris Pratt's character, and I'm not sure why she was paid $20 million against Chris Pratt's $12 million. It probably had something to do with feminism, but I don't think that was necessary either. Chris Pratt was in the film a lot more than Jennifer Lawrence was. But that's irrelevant because either way, both the actors did exceptional jobs. And I'm going to give Passengers an 8 out of 10. Guys, today I'm seeing La La Land. And do you guys know what that means? Next video after my La La Land review will be my top 10 films of 2016. Finally, it's February. I'm sorry, but I want to see La La Land before I make that list. Seeing it today. I saw Passengers yesterday, and hopefully I'll get the La La Land review up to date. If I don't, it'll be coming very soon. As well as my top 10 films of 2016 list. You guys are the best. Thank you so much for watching. Again, you can click subscribe down below if you want to see more videos and more film reviews. Once again, thank you so much for watching. Drop this video a like if you enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.